Welcome to Meeting of the Moms, a place to talk about all the things. I'm Lorna Adams. I'm a wife, mom, and certified life coach. I think being with people makes anything a party. Thanks for coming to ours. I'm here with my good friend Amy. For years, we've spent the early morning hours running and talking together before diving into our days.
Hey, I'm Amy Rasmussen. I'm a teacher by profession, a wife and mother by choice, an optimist by nature, and happy by design. Here at Moms, we believe the world is wide open to all of us and that we have unlimited potential. We're so glad you're here.
I am going to share a little bit of a celebration. So on my vision board, I have been wanting to get to a point where I can do a 10-minute mile. Now, some of you may think a 10-minute mile is not that hard, but for me, it has been. So this morning I went out running and I actually just ran by myself, as maybe some of our listeners know that you and I run together a couple days a week. I do exercise with other friends, and today just worked out that I was running by myself and I didn't listen to anything. And I just thought, I'm just going to go start running and just see how it goes. And I get started. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go fast today. This is going to be pretty good. And then at the 1 mile mark, I had a 10-minute, 21-second mile. I'm like, oh, I can totally do better than that. It took me like 10 seconds from when I started my watch to when I got started on my jog. And I went uphill. I went over an overpass. I'm like, I can totally do better than that. So I pushed it again for mile 2 and I got 9:02. I was super
awesome.
So it was fun to push it and then have it actually pay off. So
yeah, that's really cool. So I am celebrating today that I found something, and this is the kind of finding where you lose something and then you find it. So I couldn't find my son's mission paperwork from the doctor. And I know that you're supposed to have the doctor like send it in. That's like what it says, but the doctor just handed it to us. And I'm like, here, take it. And so I'm like, okay. And like they just handed it to us with everything else that they usually give us at a doctor's visit. So I brought it home and I knew that I had it here because the doctor called that night and just needed me to check something on the paperwork. So I pulled it out and I checked that thing. So I know it made it to our house. But it's been a couple weeks and there was graduation in there and my son started a new job and all the things, and he's out of town. So he's living out of town, and that's a new thing. But I finally got back to it yesterday and was looking for it so we could get that given to the bishop. And it was not where I thought it was. And it was not where everything else from that day had been and still was. So I kind of looked through several things, couldn't find it. I did tell my son, I'm like, I think I lost your stuff. I'm like, did we give it to the bishop? And I just can't remember. And I'm like, usually I remember stuff like that, but who knows? I could have forgotten. And he's like, I don't think we did, Mom. And I'm like, did I give it to you? I mean, I don't think I did, but maybe I did. He's like, I don't think so, Mom. So anyway, I told him and I was like, we'll probably just have to call the doctor and have him redo it. But on the way home from summer yesterday, after I met up with my son for a doctor's appointment, I just thought, I'm going to pray about this and I'm going to see if I can think of anywhere else to look for it. And I just had the thought, like, look in this place with the stuff that is there. And so I looked through all of that, and sure enough, I found it with a bunch of other random papers. And it was just nice. It was nice to find it. So that is my celebration, that I did actually get to find it, which doesn't always happen.
Right. Well, and we just had a situation where we lost something. We had gotten some mail and inside was a check in the mail. And between both of us, when my husband usually gets our mail, I was walking out the door, he was walking in with the mail. Both of us had touched it, knew what it was. And I remember having the thought, this is going to get thrown away. And so I remember distinctly wanting to set it somewhere so it wouldn't get thrown away, but I was on my way out the door. So I set it in a different spot than I normally would have, and then where my husband would normally have put it. And we cannot find it. We have looked high and low. We went through the garbage because with that impression, I'm like, okay, it's in the garbage. Nothing. We went out there together. My husband went out there again looking for it, couldn't find it. Anyway, kind of an interesting thing. And I did end up calling the person that had sent it, apologizing for losing it and asking them to stop payment and resend it. So they are resending it. But it was an interesting thing, and just different perspectives that can come from that is like, oh, I'm such a failure, I lose everything, and all the way over to the other extreme, maybe. But sometimes I think we're harder on ourselves than we need to be. Like, we don't lose everything. We've never had to call somebody and say, hey, we lost your check. Can you reissue it? And so I think just sometimes it's good to pull ourselves back into the reality of maybe we didn't do such a great job with taking care of this check, and it's okay. And people make mistakes, and I'm okay. But at times people could beat themselves up and, oh, I never lose things, and I did this time, and I'm so mad at myself, where I guess I have chosen to lean toward the other side. Like, what can I learn from this? Yep, I make mistakes sometimes, and let it be a little bit lighter of a situation. Any thoughts about that, Amy?
Yeah, just from the experience yesterday of being like, okay, even when things are piling up and seem to be in random places, I actually don't lose stuff a lot. I do have like a filing system for things that I usually put things in. I usually keep things together. And really, I usually have a pretty good memory for where I put things. And yet I'm like, okay, but this time it's not anywhere. So in some ways it's a little weird. I'm like, this is so weird because I don't usually lose stuff. And I know it was in the house. So I feel like it's got to be in the house somewhere because I don't think we gave it to the bishop. And I did text the bishop. I found it before he got back to me, but I'm like, do you happen to have it? Like, did I hand it to you? Because, I can forget stuff, even though it's not my tendency. But I think what's interesting is in those moments, like even knowing about myself that I'm not losing stuff constantly. This time I did. I just happened to. And so it occurred to me that I could in that moment be like, I am glad that I don't usually lose stuff because it means I don't have to be searching for it. Usually it's like, okay, I think it's in one of these 3 places. Or my family will laugh because they'll be like, do you even know where this is? I'm like, yes, go to this room, left-hand drawer, 2 little things back. It's right there. And they'll go and they're like, Mom, it was actually there. I'm like, I know, that's because that's where it goes. Or they will lose stuff. And they're like, Mom, I can't find this. I can't find it anywhere. And it's now a running joke that if they come and ask me that, I will likely walk in the room and be like, it's right there.
Mom eyes.
Yeah, the mom eyes thing, right? So it is something that I can feel like, okay, that is something that I tend to be pretty good at, that I don't lose stuff. Yay for me. And how would I even know that except that I lost something this time and I realized, oh, I don't lose stuff a lot. So it's fun to see how even that hard thing of losing something could be a time to just acknowledge, like, I'm glad that in general, that's a skill I have, right?
Totally.
On the other hand, if someone does lose stuff all the time, okay, you lose stuff all the time. I don't think that means you have to beat yourself up, but we can just use those things for maybe a positive look at ourselves and then to be like, okay, but this time I did lose it, so I can figure it out. These were the things I was saying to myself, and I said to my son when I told him, I'm like, you know what? I can check with the bishop. And honestly, it doesn't matter what the bishop thinks about whether or not I lost it. I can check with him and I can just call the doctor and be like, hey, I somehow misplaced that thing. Are you willing to refill it out? And I said, we've been going to them for years. I'm sure they'd be willing to do it. And that is where my thought process went. And that's where my actions went rather than, oh my gosh, this is such a public failure. I am going to have to call people and tell them I am actually a loser. Now they're no, my brain didn't go there. It was more just like, it was just an inconvenience. It would have been really nice not to have to make those calls. And luckily I found it. But it also could have turned into like your situation where you guys did have to make the calls. And you know what? I have had times like that. It doesn't turn out.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure it out.
Totally. Well, I think part of it is we want to avoid the embarrassment and feeling uncomfortable. Where in reality, embarrassment is just part of life. Sometimes we will feel embarrassed.
Yep.
And so then what do we want to do about it? Do we want to hide from everything, or do we want to just kind of face it and move forward? Like, all right, yeah, this is the time to make a phone call or whatever that might be. I think a lot of the times it's the embarrassment or some negative emotion that we're trying to avoid, where we're all human. We all are going to have hiccups and shortcomings and it's all totally fine. So I think for me, the takeaway is love yourself, even amidst the hard and the things that you think you aren't doing well. Love yourself through it all. And
so often, even as I shared it with you, what was your response? Your response wasn't like, you really are an idiot, Amy, right? Your response was like, oh my gosh, we lost something the other day too. So often the experience that we have is just part of the human experience. And so on the one hand, we're going to feel discomfort or embarrassment or whatever. And on the other hand, we also can just be like, yep, part of the human experience and then move on. And it's okay that we have the feelings if we have them, but we don't even have to have them all the time. As we train ourselves, right? That we can just be like, okay, well, I'm going to tell you, I called a friend yesterday and told her like, oh my gosh, guess what? I think I lost this. I'm kind of worried about it, but I can't do anything except look for it and then continue. So,
Well, and I think even by sharing it, like you sharing your story before you even found it, and then us being able to talk about it after, right? After whatever happened, I think there's something that's connecting about that.
Yeah.
I think as humans, sometimes we want to just put our best foot forward all the time. But as we show some of our insecurities, our vulnerabilities, whatever, that there's something connecting about that. And like, oh yeah, okay, Amy's human too. Like, all right, yep, we both can handle, we can go through these experiences together if we want to. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me.
Yep. Yep. Just to wrap that up, the cool thing as far as connection was that my friend then was telling me something that she was doing. She was trying to do this thank you for some people who had helped her. She decided to bake something. And she's like, I baked them and then realized, oh my gosh, I forgot one of the people I'm baking for cannot even eat this. She's like, what was I thinking? Like that person was actually in charge of those who had food allergies. Like that was her whole role in my committee. And what did I do? Right. And she's like, it's all right. I'm making something new. And then she was packaging it because I called her back yesterday and I was like, I found the papers. And she's like, oh, that's great. And then she was packaging the things up to deliver. And she stuck a sticker on it. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I should have done this. And then she's like, Amy, can you just say to me, it's fine how it is? And I'm like, yeah, it is fine how it is. And it's awesome. And they're going to love what you're bringing them because yum, I want one, you know? But I think, and she may have shared that anyway, just because of our friendship, but because I reached out and told her, the whole reaching out was to tell her, I think I lost this thing and I wish I hadn't, then I think it made it more safe even for her to be like, I'm having this moment where even the sticker was wrong, you know? And then to be able to say to me, this is what I need. Please tell me that it's fine. And I couldn't see it. I couldn't taste it. I couldn't anything, but I could still tell her it's fine. Just deliver the things that you made to say thank you. Well, here's to losing and finding or losing and dealing with it. We wish you well.
For sure. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming to Meeting of the Moms. We hope it made your load a little lighter. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. Send your celebrations, takeaways, and suggestions for future topics to momswithamyandlorna@gmail.com.
If you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe. If this isn't the right fit for you, we wish you well on your journey. Until next time, I'm Amy Rasmussen.
And I'm Lorna Adams. See you next week at Moms.